Hello, my dear friends. Welcome to a new video that will change the way you see the plants around you. Today, I bring you an extraordinary revelation. Plants that protect you from envy, malice, and witchcraft, a secret held in the legendary book of St. Cyprian. Have you ever felt like, no matter how hard you try, something invisible is holding you back? Have you noticed sudden changes in your luck? Arguments for no reason at home, or a sense of heaviness when entering certain spaces? These are clear signs that negative energies might be affecting your life. We live in times where envy has multiplied. Social media exposes our achievements and happiness to people who may not celebrate our success. Ancestral tradition has always known that we need protection, and Saint Cyprian, that wise keeper of secrets between the visible and invisible worlds, left us a powerful legacy through plants. Plants are not just decorative elements. They are living beings with extraordinary abilities that many are unaware of. They have the power to absorb energies, transform them, and create fields of protection around us. Saint Cyprian considered them the green shields against all kinds of malevolence. What I'm about to reveal to you today are teachings that have been passed down in secret for generations. 7 powerful plants, each with unique properties and specific rituals that enhance their protective capabilities. This knowledge comes directly from the grimoire of St. Cyprian, adapted so you can easily apply it in your home. I'll give you a sneak peek. The 3rd plant I'm going to reveal is so powerful that it can detect hidden witchcraft in your home. If you have it, and it starts showing certain changes, it's a clear sign that someone is sending negative energies your way or towards your family. Before we continue, it's important to note that this video is created with deep respect for esoteric traditions. It's not just about having plants. It's about establishing a sacred relationship with them, honoring their power, and thanking them for their protection. If you want to transform your home into a true protected sanctuary, if you feel the need for effective defense against negative energies, or if you simply want to harness ancestral wisdom to live in harmony, this video is for you. I invite you to watch it in its entirety, because every detail, every ritual, and every revealed secret has a specific purpose. Get ready to discover the hidden power of plants, according to the secrets of Saint Cyprian. Let's start with our first guardian, a plant that literally cuts negative energies with its sharp leaves. The first protective plant revealed in Saint Cyprian's grimoire is the majestic sword of Saint George, also known as mother-in-law's tongue or Sansevieria. It's no coincidence that its name evokes a holy warrior, as this plant acts as a true spiritual soldier in your home. In ancient texts of Saint Cyprian, this plant is referred to as the sword that cuts the invisible threads. What does this mean? According to esoteric tradition, when someone envies us or wishes us harm, ethereal connections are created, like invisible threads linking that person to us. The sword of St. George, with its upright pointed leaves, literally cuts those negative connections. What's fascinating about this plant is its shape. If you look closely, you'll see that its leaves reach towards the sky like swords, symbolizing active protection. This is not a minor detail. In the spiritual world, form has power. The sharp, sturdy leaves of the sword of St. George represent determination and strength to combat dense energies. I've seen remarkable cases with this plant. Once a woman I assisted was facing constant problems in her business. After placing swords of St. George in all 4 corners, not only did her sales improve, but she discovered that a close friend had been casting envy spells on her. How did she find out? One of the plants began to mysteriously wilt, precisely the one facing this person's house. According to the grimoire of Saint Cyprian, to enhance the power of this plant, you must perform a simple consecration ritual. You'll need 1 tablespoon of sea salt, 1 glass of purified water, 3 bay leaves, 1 white candle. The ritual should preferably be done during the waxing moon. First, light the white candle and place it near the plant. Dissolve the salt in the water while reciting, "By the power of Saint Cyprian, I consecrate this plant as the guardian of my home." Then, With your fingertips, gently sprinkle the leaves of the plant with this water. Finally, place the bay leaves in the soil of the pot. The strategic positioning of the sword of St. George is crucial. St. Cyprian recommends placing it at the main entrance of your home to cut negative energies before they enter, near large windows, as they are energy portals in the corners of spaces where you frequently receive visitors. Near electronic devices, as tradition says, they amplify both good and bad energies. How do you know if your sword of St. George is combating negative energies? Pay attention to these signs: sudden yellowing spots on the leaves, a leaf bending for no apparent reason, the plant growing unusually fast in a specific direction. If you notice your plant is absorbing too much negativity, you can help it by energetically cleansing it. Gently wipe its leaves with a cloth dampened in rosemary water, always from base to tip, thanking it for its protection. Remember that the sword of St. George is extremely resilient, making it a perfect ally even for those without a green thumb. This resilience is not accidental. According to St. Cyprian, it represents its ability to withstand and neutralize strong energetic attacks. Now that you know the power of the first guardian, let's move on to our second protective plant, one that not only defends you, but also attracts prosperity into your life. We continue our journey through the secret garden of St. Cyprian with a majestic and powerful plant, Brazil wood. In ancient esoteric manuscripts, this plant is referred to as the pillar of protected abundance, a name that reveals its dual function in our homes. Brazil wood has a sacred history within mystic tradition. St. Cyprian mentions it in his grimoire as one of the plants that ancient masters used to protect temples and sacred places. Its reddish wood symbolizes vital force and blood, elements that represent life itself and its preservation. What makes Brazil wood special is its unique ability to not only stop negative energies, but also transform them into prosperity. According to ancient texts, this plant creates an energy field that seals your finances against malicious external influences. It's as if it creates an invisible vault around your abundance. To activate the full protective potential of Brazil wood, St. Cyprian reveals a ritual known as the 4 pillars. Ideally, this ritual should be performed during the new moon, when growth energies are at their peak. You will need 4 small Brazil wood specimens, or 1 large if that's not possible. In each corner of your home or business, dig a small hole, and before placing the plant, deposit at the bottom. A gold or golden coin represents wealth. A quartz crystal amplifies protective energy. A small piece of paper with your full name links the protection to you. As you place each plant, quietly pronounce, "May this sacred pillar protect my abundance and repel all envy. By St. Cyprian, I decree it so it shall manifest." The power of Brazil wood strengthens with each full moon. On these special nights, simply water your plants with a little water that you've dissolved 3 grains of salt in, while thanking them for their protection. I have witnessed extraordinary cases with this plant. A merchant who implemented the 4 pillars of Brazil wood in his store saw not only the unexplained losses of merchandise stop, but also a 30% increase in sales in less than a month. Another notable case was a family who, after placing a Brazil wood in each corner of their house, managed to sell a property that had been stagnant on the market for years. An important aspect you should consider is the special care this plant requires to maximize its protective effects. Brazil wood thrives best when it receives indirect sunlight and is watered moderately. St. Cyprian warns that the soil should never be allowed to dry out completely, as this weakens its protective shield. If you notice that the leaves of your Brazil wood begin to fall for no apparent reason, or that its color becomes dull, it's a clear sign that it is absorbing strong negative energies. In these cases, it's advisable to perform an energetic cleansing by passing white sage incense around the plant. Now let's move on to our third protective plant, one that many fear having in their home, but which St. Cyprian considered one of the most powerful against witchcraft. We arrive at one of the most misunderstood and powerful plants according to the grimoire of St. Cyprian, cacti. Many people avoid having them in their homes due to unfounded superstitions, but today we will reveal why St. Cyprian called them the guardians of the spiritual desert and regarded them as essential for complete protection. Cacti possess a unique energetic geometry. Their spines are not just simple physical defense mechanisms, but true energetic antennas that detect, intercept, and neutralize negative vibrations before they can affect us. Each spine functions like a small sword that pricks and disarms witchcraft and malicious energies. In St. Cyprian's secret book, it is explained that certain types of cacti have greater protective power. The most effective are San Pedro cactus, Echinopsis pachanoi, considered sacred and with great power to undo spells. Rat-tail Aporocactus flagelliformis, especially effective against family curses. Barrel cactus, Echinocactus, ideal for protecting workspaces and businesses. Not everyone knows the ancient activation ritual for protective cacti. According to St. Cyprian, to awaken their full potential, you need to perform this simple procedure. On a waning moon night, prepare a mixture of water with 7 drops of rosemary essence. Gently water the cactus with this preparation while pronouncing, "Guardian of Thorns, awaken your power. May your sharp tips undo all malevolence." By St. Cyprian, so it shall be. It's important to understand how to interpret physical changes in your cacti, as they are silent messengers. If your cactus suddenly begins to wilt in a section, it is absorbing a work directed specifically at an aspect of your life. Develops dark spots. It has intercepted very dense and negative energies. Blooms unexpectedly. It has completely transformed negative energies into positive ones. One little-known aspect is the ideal positioning of cacti. St. Cyprian taught that cacti should be placed near the back door of the house where more hidden energies enter, in windows that face the street, especially if you live on the first floor, in areas where you feel heaviness in energy, never in bedrooms. Their defensive energy is too active for resting spaces. Contrary to what many believe, having cacti inside the home does not attract bad luck. This superstition arose because cacti are so efficient at absorbing negativity that they sometimes die quickly in homes with strong energetic problems, leading people to mistakenly associate them with misfortune. If a cactus dies suddenly, don't panic. According to St. Cyprian's tradition, you should thank it for its sacrifice, as it likely absorbed a very strong attack directed at you or your family. Bury it respectfully and place a new cactus in its spot after 3 days. Now, let's explore our 4th protective plant, a climber that, according to St. Cyprian, has the ability to track and eliminate hidden negative energies. Our 4th protective plant is the mysterious and elegant ivy, known in the esoteric texts of St. Cyprian as the shadow tracker. This seemingly delicate climber hides extraordinary power that makes it an essential ally against hidden negative magic. Ivy has a deeply rooted ancestral symbolism in mystical traditions. St. Cyprian mentions it as a plant with its own intelligence, capable of detecting and following the trail of negative energies back to their source. Its long vines and heart or star-shaped leaves, depending on the variety, function as energetic sensors that spread throughout the space. What makes ivy truly special is its ability to dismantle works of magic and binding spells. According to the secret grimoire, its aerial roots dissolve the energetic knots created by love, family, or financial binding rituals. That's why when someone suffers from unexplained issues in their relationships, St. Cyprian always recommended having this plant around. To enhance the power of ivy, there is a strengthening ritual mentioned in ancient manuscripts. You will need a handful of cloves, rainwater or mineral water if that's not possible, 3 drops of lavender essence in a glass container. Mix all the ingredients, allowing them to rest under moonlight for a full night. The next morning, water your ivy with this preparation while whispering, "Ivy roots, extend and seek. Reveal the hidden, cleanse the dark." By Saint Cyprian, let this space be free. Did you know that ivy works like a true energetic map? Pay close attention to where your plant grows most vigorously, as tradition holds that it signals the direction from which negative energy originates. I've seen cases where ivy literally points towards the home of an envious neighbor or an object that had been manipulated with ill intentions. To keep its power at its peak, ivy requires specific care. Place it in a high spot, preferably in a hanging pot. Allow it to grow freely without excessive pruning. Clean its leaves with a damp cloth during each new moon. Prevent its roots from drying out completely. A little-known secret is the synergy that exists between ivy and other protective plants. Saint Cyprian taught that when ivy is placed near a sword of St. George, a particularly potent protection field is created, as ivy detects and the sword cuts negative energies. If you notice your ivy suddenly begins to wilt or its leaves turn yellow for no apparent reason, it's a sign that it has absorbed very dense energies. In these cases, it's advisable to renew the soil and perform an energetic cleansing with myrrh incense. Let's move on to our 5th plant, one that St. Cyprian considered not only protective, but also capable of completely transforming the vibration of a space. We arrive at one of the most underestimated plants in its protective power: roses. While many see them merely as symbols of love and beauty, the grimoire of St. Cyprian describes them as shields of light manifested in form and fragrance. This seemingly delicate plant hides one of the most sophisticated protection systems, according to esoteric tradition. The protective power of roses resides in their extraordinarily high vibration. Saint Cyprian explained that negative energies, being of low frequency, cannot sustain themselves in the presence of roses, creating what he called vibrational incompatibility that neutralizes malevolence and envy. Each color of rose has a specific mystical meaning according to St. Cyprian's teachings. White roses create a purification field that dispels black magic and protects the peace of the home. St. Cyprian especially recommended them for bedrooms and meditation spaces. Yellow roses. Contrary to modern superstitions, in the grimoire they are mentioned as powerful for undoing envy related to prosperity and success. They are especially effective in work or study spaces. Red roses, the strongest for protecting emotional bonds. They neutralize attempts at separation, projected jealousy, and any energy seeking to harm affectionate relationships. One of the most effective rituals mentioned in St. Cyprian's secret book is the preparation of consecrated rose water, a powerful element for cleansing and energetic protection. To prepare it, you need petals from 7 roses, preferably of different colors, spring or filtered water, 1 tablespoon of sea salt, a clear glass jar. During the full moon, place all the ingredients in the jar and leave it under the moonlight all night. At dawn, strain the petals and reserve the water. While performing this process, repeat 3 times. By the power of the sacred roses and the wisdom of St. Cyprian, I consecrate this water for protection and purification. This water can be sprinkled in the corners of the house, on the frames of doors and windows, or even added to the water you use to clean the floors. The strategic use of roses in different spaces multiplies their effectiveness. St. Cyprian recommended placing white roses at the main entrance to filter negative energies before they enter, keeping yellow roses in the kitchen to protect family abundance, putting red roses in family gathering spaces to harmonize relationships. When placing fresh roses in your home, St. Cyprian suggested this simple prayer: Divine Rose, shield of light, protect this space and those who inhabit it. May your beauty dispel all darkness, and your fragrance elevate the vibration of this place. Roses should be replaced regularly, ideally every 7 days. If you notice that the petals begin to wilt quickly, before normal, or develop dark spots inexplicably, it's a sign that they have absorbed negative energies. A crucial aspect St. Cyprian emphasized is the proper way to dispose of roses that have fulfilled their protective function. They should never be thrown in regular trash. The appropriate action is to thank them for their service and bury them in the ground, preferably in a garden or pot with healthy plants, or leave them in running water like a river. Now let's move on to our 6th protective plant, an ancestral guardian that creates a true field of territorial strength, according to the writings of St. Cyprian. Our 6th protective plant connects us with the ancient wisdom of the forests, the pine tree. In the secret grimoire of St. Cyprian, this majestic conifer appears as the territorial sentinel and is considered one of the most potent protections against invasive entities and energies. The pine tree has an ancestral connection with territorial protection rituals. The ancients knew that these trees create an energetic perimeter that acts as a barrier against negative influences. St. Cyprian specifically mentions it as the tree that marks boundaries between worlds, suggesting its ability to establish clear, energetic limits. What makes the pine particularly special is its aromatic resin, which, according to ancient texts, seals cracks in the veil that separates dimensions. This natural resin acts as an energetic glue that prevents unwanted entities and vibrations from entering the protected space. To harness the full protective power of the pine, the grimoire of St. Cyprian reveals a special planting ritual. Ideally, this ritual should be performed during the waxing moon phase. You will need a small potted pine, 7 coins of different denominations, a handful of coarse salt, a green candle. Dig a hole large enough for the pine, preferably near the main entrance of your house or at the corners of your property. At the bottom of the hole, place the 7 coins in a circle. Scatter the salt around the coins while reciting, "By the power of St. Cyprian and the ancestral strength of this pine, I declare this territory protected against all malignant energy and entity." Plant the pine, water it abundantly, and light the green candle nearby, allowing it to burn completely. St. Cyprian emphasized the importance of performing this planting during the correct lunar phase. The waxing moon symbolizes the gradual increase in protection, allowing the energetic shield to strengthen over time. The protective field created by the pine is expansive and 3-dimensional. According to ancient texts, its roots protect against negative energies trying to enter through the earth, like burials and hidden workings, while its canopy protects against influences coming from above or the environment. To keep the protective power of your pine active, it's advisable to follow these special care tips. At each change of season, bury a new coin near its roots. On every full moon, spray its branches with spring water or holy water. Avoid excessive pruning, as each branch is an extension of its protective shield. A fascinating aspect of the pine is its ability to work synergistically with other plants. St. Cyprian mentions that when a pine and a rose grow nearby, they create a particularly potent combination. The pine establishes the territorial barrier, and the roses purify the indoor environment. If you notice that the needles of your pine begin to fall for no apparent reason, or that its color turns yellowish, it's a sign that it is combating strong negative energies. In these cases, you should perform an energetic cleansing by lighting copal incense around the tree while thanking it for its protection. Now, let's continue with our 7th and final plant, one that St. Cyprian considered the revealer of hidden enemies for its extraordinary power to illuminate the shadows. We arrive at our 7th protective plant, one of the brightest and most powerful according to the secret grimoire of St. Cyprian, the sunflower. This majestic flower is described in ancient texts as the eye of the sun on earth and the revealer of shadows. The power of the sunflower lies in its direct connection to solar energy, the ultimate purifying force. In esoteric traditions, the sun represents the truth that dispels lies and the light that vanishes darkness. Saint Cyprian taught that sunflowers, by literally following the path of the sun, capture this purifying energy and radiate it into the space around them. What makes the sunflower particularly effective against witchcraft and envy is its ability to illuminate the hidden. According to Saint Cyprian, when there are hidden workings of black magic or people acting deceitfully, the presence of sunflowers forces these energies to manifest, thereby losing their power. Sunflowers have a unique property that few know. They can reveal hidden enemies. It is said in the grimoire that if you place sunflowers in your home or business and observe who feels uncomfortable in their presence or who constantly criticizes them, you will discover who does not wish you well. It's as if the light these flowers emit is unbearable for those harboring darkness in their hearts. To fully harness the power of sunflowers, Saint Cyprian reveals a special ritual for harvesting and preparing protective amulets. When your sunflowers have fully bloomed and begin to produce seeds, wait until dawn on a Sunday, a day ruled by the sun. Carefully cut the head of the sunflower while pronouncing, "Light of the sun manifested." Reveal the hidden, protect the sacred. Allow the flower to dry naturally, then extract 21 seeds. These 21 seeds should be divided into 3 small bags made of yellow or golden fabric, 7 in each. These bags can be placed, one near the main entrance of your home, one in your workplace or study, one under your pillow or kept in your wallet. According to Saint Cyprian, the ideal time to plant sunflowers is between March and April, when solar energy begins to intensify. To further enhance their protective energy, you can place small citrine or clear quartz crystals in the soil where your sunflowers grow. The strategic use of sunflowers in different spaces multiplies their protective effectiveness. In businesses, place them near the cash register to protect prosperity. In offices, position them near the entrance to filter negative energies from clients or colleagues. In homes, they are especially effective in common areas where visitors are received. A little-known fact is the ability of sunflowers to cleanse spaces after strong emotional conflicts. If there has been intense arguing or situations of high emotional tension, placing fresh sunflowers in that space helps dissipate residual negative energies. If you notice that your sunflowers are wilting prematurely or that their stems are bending for no apparent reason, it's a sign that they are absorbing strong negative loads. In these cases, it's advisable to replace them and burn the wilted sunflower away from your home, preferably at sunset. Now that we've revealed the 7 protective plants, let's explore some additional secrets that Saint Cyprian left us about combinations and methods to further enhance their effectiveness. Now that you know the 7 main guardian plants, it's time to reveal some additional secrets that Saint Cyprian left in his grimoire. Knowledge that will exponentially enhance your plant protection system. One of the most valuable and lesser-known teachings of Saint Cyprian is the creation of synergistic combinations between plants. Some of the most powerful are the complete protection triad, placing a cactus, a sword of Saint George, and a small pine together creates what Saint Cyprian called the impenetrable fortress. The cactus detects, the sword cuts, and the pine seals any type of negative energy. The circle of light, surrounding a central sunflower with 7 small white roses, forms a powerful protective circle that not only blocks negativity, but also transmutes those energies into blessings. The guardian door, placing intertwined ivy with red roses around the main entrance, creates an energetic curtain that filters all negative energies from those entering your space. Saint Cyprian also left a specific lunar calendar for working with protective plants. This knowledge was considered one of his best-kept secrets. New moon, ideal for planting new protections and starting cleansing rituals with plants. Waxing quarter, perfect time to enhance and strengthen existing plants. Full moon, the best phase for harvesting plants or parts of them for amulets and essences. Waning quarter, optimal period for pruning plants that have absorbed negativity. The original prayers from Saint Cyprian's grimoire to consecrate your protective garden are particularly powerful. One of the most effective, adapted to contemporary language, goes like this. By the power that Saint Cyprian obtained from the ancient mysteries, I consecrate this garden as a sanctuary of light. May every leaf, every thorn, every petal, and every root activate as a shield against all negative energy. May the earth that holds them turn into sacred ground where darkness cannot take root. By Saint Cyprian, so it shall be. This prayer should be recited while you walk around your space in a clockwise direction, holding a lit white candle. How can you tell when your plants are actively working to protect you? Saint Cyprian reveals these signs: unusually fast growth in the direction of a specific point, unexpected blooms out of season, sudden color changes in leaves or stems, intensified aromas for no apparent reason, a feeling of warmth or vibration when bringing your hand close without touching them. To keep your plants energetically clean and recharged, Saint Cyprian taught these methods. Lunar cleansing. On every full moon, spray your plants with moon water, water that has been under moonlight all night. Purifying incense. Once a month, pass white sage or Palo Santo incense around your protective plants. Purifying sound. The sound of a bronze bell or a Tibetan bowl near your plants helps them reset their energy field. And now, as promised, I will reveal a rare and extraordinarily powerful ritual mentioned in the most hidden pages of the grimoire, the 7 Guardians United. This ritual requires having a small specimen of each of the 7 protective plants. It is performed over 7 consecutive days, starting on the new moon. Each day, you must water a different plant with water where you have dissolved a pinch of sea salt. While reciting, by the power of Saint Cyprian, I unite the forces of the 7 guardians to create an impenetrable shield in this sacred space. On the 7th day, place all the plants in a circle, and in the center place a white candle. Lighting it will seal the joint work of your 7 plant protectors. Now, let's gather all this sacred knowledge in our conclusion. We have reached the end of this journey through the secret garden of Saint Cyprian, where we uncovered the protective power of 7 extraordinary plants. Let's briefly recap the main properties of each of our guardians. The sword of St. George, with its sharp leaves that literally cut negative energetic threads, protecting you from envy and the evil eye. Remember to consecrate it with sea salt and place it strategically at entrances and corners. Brazil wood, pillar of economic protection and secure abundance, which creates a shield around your prosperity. Don't forget to perform the ritual of the 4 pillars to maximize its protective effect in your home or business. Cacti, spiny sentinels that detect and neutralize negative energies with each of their spines. Different varieties offer specific protections, and their strategic location is crucial for a complete shield. Ivy, tracker of hidden energies that dismantles black magic and binding spells. Observe where it naturally grows, as it will reveal the source of negative energies. Roses, with their elevated vibration that dissolves negativity and creates purification fields, each color with specific properties. Remember to prepare the consecrated rosewater to strengthen all your protection. The pine, territorial sentinel that establishes clear energetic boundaries and protects you from entities and buried workings. Its ritual planting with coins and salt creates a secure perimeter around your space. The sunflower, solar eye, that reveals the hidden and illuminates the shadows, exposing enemies disguised as friends and dissipating witchcraft with its light. Its seeds, transformed into amulets, extend its protection wherever you go. To create a Saint Cyprian protection garden, it's not necessary to have large spaces. Even in a small apartment, you can implement this system by placing smaller versions of these plants or alternating their presence according to your specific needs. A fundamental aspect that Saint Cyprian emphasized is gratitude towards these guardian plants. They are living beings that tirelessly work for your protection, absorbing energies that would otherwise directly affect you. Take a moment each week to thank them aloud. This simple act not only strengthens your connection with them, but also enhances their protective effectiveness. Remember that these plants are not mere decorative objects or passive amulets. They are living allies, intelligent in their own way, that respond to your physical and energetic care. The tradition of Saint Cyprian teaches us that there is a subtle communication between humans and the plant kingdom that, when consciously cultivated, creates a truly effective protective barrier. Before we say goodbye, I want to share with you the traditional blessing that Saint Cyprian taught to those implementing his plant protection system. May the green forces of nature protect you. May their deep roots anchor your well-being. May their sturdy stems support your path. And may their flowers and fruits multiply your blessings. By the sacred knowledge of Saint Cyprian, these protections are sealed in your life. In our next video, I will reveal Saint Cyprian's secrets on energetic cleansing rituals for spaces that have been affected by envy and witchcraft. Don't miss it. If you found this knowledge valuable, I invite you to leave a comment sharing which Saint Cyprian plant you already had in your home without knowing its protective power. Subscribe to receive more revelations from ancient grimoires and activate the notification bell to be the first to learn about the upcoming secrets. Until our next meeting, protected by the green wisdom of Saint Cyprian.